Coming up on the June 7th edition of Carolina Week, what you need to know to get ready for this year's hurricane season. It's predicted to be active on the East Coast.
And could there be an upside to paying so much for gas in the Tar Heel State?
In sports, regional play got off to a soggy start. Would the early rain dampen the Tar Heel Bats?
Plus, Laura Pagano is here with our 4-day forecast.
All that and summer hotspots in Chapel Hill. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Hello, and welcome to the summer edition of Carolina Week. I'm Caitlin Kleinard.
And I'm Lindsay Michael. Although cleanup on the Gulf Coast is far from over, a new hurricane season is already upon us. Are you ready? Reporter Katie Klein takes a look at what you need to do before the storm strikes.
The skies are clear in Chapel Hill, for now. But as many North Carolinians know, the tide can quickly change when hurricane season begins. Geography professor Chip Conrad says problems can occur even in the central part of the state.
Obviously, people in the Piedmont don't experience hurricanes very often, so they're not as prepared.
Conrad says the biggest problems are high winds knocking down trees and flooding. Forecasters are prepared for another above-average season after last year's record-breaking storms.
Not only are we going to have quite a few more hurricanes than normal, but there's a higher chance that they're going to hit the East Coast as opposed to the Gulf of Mexico.
Some students, like senior Andrew Washburn, say they aren't worried. Yet.
Well, if anything serious is coming through, I'll just get the heck out of here.
If severe weather is on the way, check the UNC homepage. University officials will post important information, such as class cancellations and evacuation procedures.
Before a storm hits, you and your parents should have a communication plan, and you should assemble a hurricane survival pack. The American Red Cross suggests the following items for your kit: first aid and medications, canned food, 3 gallons of water per person, protective clothing and bedding, a radio, flashlight, and batteries, and instructions on how to turn off your utilities in case you're ordered to do so. So even 160 miles inland, preparation is key. In Chapel Hill, I'm Katie Klein, Carolina Week.
Right now, there's no tropical activity brewing, but weathercaster Laura Pagano will be with us later to let us know what to expect in the coming weeks.
Your chance to see one of the world's top performers is right around the corner. Bill Cosby will be here this Saturday.
You'll do whatever I ask you to do?
And he's bringing his talent to UNC to raise money for the Chuck Stone Citizen of the World Scholarship. The revered journalism professor says if anyone is a citizen of the world, it's his close friend Cosby.
He and his wife Camille have given millions of dollars to Spelman and other colleges and universities. He's giving very unstintingly and very gracious. So in that sense, that invokes his claim, if you want to say a claim, to being a citizen of the world.
Tickets are available at the Memorial Hall box office. Prices range from $25 to $50.
You won't have to travel far to see Cosby, and this summer, many families won't be traveling far because of high gas prices. Reporter Will Weldon shows us how high gas prices are actually fueling North Carolina's economy.
Gas prices this summer are roughly twice what they were 5 years ago, the highest ever for summer travel. In North Carolina, the prices for a gallon of gasoline are hovering just below $3. But in some states, they're closer to $4. That's causing many North Carolinians to rethink their summer plans.
Well, everybody already knows about the gas prices, so most people aren't really trying to take too many trips this summer. A lot of people are just staying down south.
Such a shift could be positive for the tourism industry in North Carolina, because there's plenty to do in the Tar Heel State without driving too far.
In fact, if the indications from our industry colleagues across the state hold true, we're going to have a very strong summer season and a very good year.
There are numerous state parks, national forests, and beaches within 3 hours of Chapel Hill. And we can be glad we don't live in Germany, where gas is currently selling for close to $7 a gallon. In Chapel Hill, I'm Will Weldon, Carolina Week.
If you're looking for the cheapest gas in the country, it's in Oklahoma City, and it's about $2.60 per gallon.
Every summer, UNC welcomes new students and their families during orientation sessions called CTOPS. The first session started Monday with the arrival of about 300 students. You could tell who the CTOPers were with their blue folders, long name tags, and nervous expressions. Their schedule was busy, meeting orientation leaders and taking a placement exam in foreign language. Whatever their task, the students had a lot to do in 2 days. Orientation leader Courtney Moser says the CTOPS experience exposes incoming students to all Carolina has to offer.
Carolina has so many programs and so many things that they can get involved in, and I just hope that CTOPS invites them to join those things and really informs them that Carolina is so broad and so diverse that everyone can be able to feel accepted.
This CTOPS session was the first of 15. About 3,500 students will participate throughout the summer. It's not unusual for the Dean Smith Center to bustle with activity, but Tuesday it was blood donors, not basketball fans, who packed the house. The arena looked a little different as the 18th annual blood drive took to the court. The drive is the largest of its kind on the East Coast. In total, it raised almost 1,000 units of blood. The blood will go directly to UNC hospitals in the local community. Chapel Hill carpenter Andy Alberti thinks everyone should consider giving blood.
I don't mind giving, myself a little bit. That seems like an easy enough thing to do, to just give blood for accident victims and people in the hospital.
Typically, fewer people donate in the summer, so this time of year is a challenging time for the hospital, making the success of this effort even more important.
Cleaning your plate at every meal might not be such a good idea if you have too big of a portion on it in the first place. A study funded by the FDA found that Americans eat nearly 1/3 of all meals outside the home, with burgers, fries, and pizza leading the list of foods we eat. But the study suggests it's not so much what we eat, but how big the portions are that creates weight problems. The government is urging restaurant managers to offer smaller portions and healthy side items to help curb the national trend toward obesity. When most students go to Lenoir Dining Hall, they want big portions, and some say they want more choices as well. Reporter Allison McClatt has that story.
With the numerous food options available on campus or on Franklin Street, what more could students want? According to Carolina Dining Services' last survey, 458 students cried, "Yo quiero Taco Bell." Carolina Dining Services Director Mike Freeman said the survey is an important tool in choosing what might come to Main Street.
Well, we do a survey about every 5 years just to get a feel for what the students are looking for. And, in 2000, it was Bruegel's Bagel and Wendy's. I can't remember what the third one was. And then this year, it was Taco Bell, Wendy's, and Bojangles was in the top.
With all the Mexican food choices on Franklin Street, some people were surprised that Taco Bell ranked #1 on the survey.
Taco Bell is nasty, real nasty. Like dehydrated meat. We have enough Tex-Mex kind of places on Franklin Street already. We don't need any more.
There's too many burrito places on Franklin Street right now, and you have to drive anywhere to get a biscuit, except for Time Out, but no one wants to go there during the day.
But for those Taco Bell enthusiasts on campus, Taco Bell's victory was a personal one.
And the fact that UNC Chapel Hill's students have rallied behind this cause puts faith back in my belief in what humanity, and especially Chapel Hill students, have to offer to this world.
Taco Bell, vastly superior to Bojangles, the best option, we need to do it.
As for now, the Taco Bell in Durham is only 15 minutes away. In Chapel Hill, I'm Allison McClatt, Carolina Week.
Food Services plans to concentrate on its existing services for the coming year, with no immediate plans to add Taco Bell or any other fast food outlet.
When we come back, the price we pay for high fashion.
We'll show you why today's trendiest shoes might hurt your wallet and your feet as well.
Where's the whole week? Where's the whole week?
Excuse me?
Excuse me, sir. Something wrong?
Yeah, there's something wrong. You want to get me some whole wheat? Oh, come on. Hey, hey, amigo. Hey, I asked you for whole wheat bread. This is not what I wanted. El Guido.
Sorry for the confusion.
You know, that's the problem with these people. If you want to serve Americans, you got to learn to speak the language. You know what I'm saying?
No, sir. I don't. Enjoy your lunch.
Imagine the power of one voice. Click freedomcenter.org to find yours.
Recent alligator attacks in Florida have people in that state being more cautious near lakes and canals. Susan Tart reports from Lake Waccamaw that people in the Tar Heel state also have to be aware of the big reptiles.
The recent deaths from alligator attacks have brought national attention to Florida. But what may surprise you is that alligators live in eastern North Carolina. However, as you can tell from the people behind me, this hasn't changed their way of life much.
There has never actually been a death from an alligator attack in North Carolina, and most people here seem to think there won't be. People still swim, fish, and kayak in gator territories. Houston Smith has grown up in the region. He doesn't think the gators are a risk.
As long as you don't mess with them, come on their territory, then they ain't gonna mess with you.
Alligators are native to eastern North Carolina. Carolina gators aren't as big or as aggressive as Florida gators, but their numbers have grown over the past few years. Still, UNC Chapel Hill student Justin Smith says there's little reason to fear.
I think one of the things about Lake Waccamaw that's different than Florida is we don't have a lot of tourists here. We only have insiders, we only have a few restaurants, and we don't have a single hotel here. So most of the people who would interact with the alligators have been doing so for years, and they kind of know the rules.
State Park Ranger Shane Freeman agrees.
I think you'd probably have a much better chance of being struck by lightning than actually attacked by an alligator in North Carolina.
Freeman says most North Carolinians seem to respect the gators, and there aren't enough tourists that want to feed them. But if people become too friendly with the gators, then there might be reason to worry. Just remember the North Carolina rule. If you must throw objects at the alligators, you must retrieve them. At Lake Waccamaw, I'm Susan Tart, Carolina Week.
Officials say there's no need to worry about alligators in the Triangle. They don't like the habitat in this area. And thanks to a generous gift from GlaxoSmithKline, the journey to space will soon be a little easier for kids. Pharmaceutical maker GSK recently announced a gift of roughly $100,000 to Moorhead Planetarium. The money will help produce the new Star Theater show, Destination Space, by allowing planetarium officials to hire scriptwriters, animators, and former astronauts to contribute to the educational program. Glaxo's gift is the largest in the planetarium's 57-year history.
Talk about the space race all the way up through the Apollo moon landings, and we actually have a couple of Apollo-era astronauts who will be appearing in the show. And then we're going to talk about the future of space exploration as NASA discusses its plans to go back to the moon and then go on to Mars.
Destination Space is scheduled for launch in September.
The summer heat is setting in, and OWASA is urging its Orange County customers to use water wisely. The shoreline at University Lake has been getting wider as the temperature gets hotter. Local reservoirs were diminished to 30% of their size in the record-breaking drought of 2002, when OWASA enacted strict water use restrictions. Since then, the lakes have refilled to 89% capacity. OWASA Representative Greg Feller says, despite recent rain showers, the restrictions are still necessary.
The stream flows to our lakes are well below normal. And the rainfall that we've had in the last month or so really didn't change our reservoirs very much. We were over 90% full in late April, and now we're 89% full.
Feller says it's the efforts of customers in Chapel Hill and Carrboro that have enabled Orange County's streams and lakes to refill. Well, this spring, the hottest styles for women include high wedge and platform shoes, but doctors say you could be putting your feet at risk by wearing them. Reporter Jerry Simmons has the story.
One visit to the shoe department and you see what's in style. Just ask Dillard's shoe manager Irina Boroviskaya. She says wedge heels are hot this summer. She says women wear these stylish shoes to feel good about themselves.
It makes her feel young, youthful, and it just makes her feel pretty.
Stylish shoes might make you feel good, but Dr. Jane Anderson says there's often a price to pay.
Well, it depends on the shoe, but the wrong shoes can cause things like blisters, corns and calluses, tendinitis, plantar fasciitis, which is heel pain, even injuries like sprains and things like that.
Dr. Anderson has helped Chapel Hill women with foot problems for 7 years. She says women who wear dressy sandals should be careful.
This shoe is a pretty popular shoe right now, but it's got a 3-inch heel. So it's a little bit too high, which shifts a lot of your weight forward to the ball of your foot, which can create a lot of problems. This shoe is kind of a problem because it has a pointed toe box, and that is not the shape of your foot.
The wrong shoe causes a lot of pain. If you're walking through UNC's campus and you're experiencing foot pain, that is not normal. More women than men experience foot pain due to their choice of shoe. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jerry Simmons, Carolina Week.
Dr. Anderson says flip-flops present their own set of problems. She says people wear them as comfort shoes, but flip-flops don't provide enough support for your feet. Here are some things to look for when you're picking out shoes. Try on shoes in the store late in the afternoon when your feet are most swollen. Shoes should be comfortable when you try them on. There's no such thing as breaking in a pair of shoes. The heel height should be 2 inches or less, and chunkier heels give more support. Avoid stilettos, and a pointy toe box. Get square or rounded instead. Well, we're joined here now by Laura Pagano.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
So Laura, I'm wondering, am I going to be able to break out those cute shoes, or am I going to have to bring out some rain boots?
You definitely are. We are not going to see anything in the way of precipitation anytime soon. And it will be getting warmer. We're not the only ones enjoying the heat. The dog days of summer are here. With temperatures rising, what does that mean for your weekend plans? I'll have your forecast when Carolina Week returns.
It's springtime in the forest of the black-tailed deer. The young male is feeling playful. It's time for tag. The female flicks her ears. Her way of saying, "Catch me if you can."
To change the world, you don't have to be rich or famous or play ball or lead countries. All you have to do is tell your family you want to be an organ donor. Talk to your family about organ donation. Talk to your family about donating life.
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm weather forecaster Laura Pagano. Well, this past week has been absolutely beautiful with temperatures hovering a little below normal. But for the week ahead, we will see that we have mostly sunny conditions with scattered thunderstorms possible later in the day. And please remember to put on sunblock. SPF 30 or SPF 45 will, do just fine. Taking a look at the U.S. satellite, we do see an area of cloudiness, and also over here with that's associated with a low pressure system, which is basically a cold front that will be moving on east, really not affecting us too much in the way of temperatures or precipitation. And zooming on into the southeast, we will see that we do have some cloudiness, really a lot of cirrus high in the sky, really not going to be affecting us. You will see a lot of sunny conditions, and looking at the radar as well, we will see nothing in the way of the area that we're in right now. The Raleigh-Durham area is going to be seeing no precipitation at all. Maybe later in the day, possibility, but percentage hovering around 20%. As we zoom on out towards the surface, we'll see that this low pressure system extends all the way to the northeast, and it will be sliding on east. But with the dry air that we have right now, we're not seeing any possibility for any showers into the weekend. And looking on west, it's basically clear, which indicates next week is going to be clear as well. It's going to be very dry and warm. So taking a look at your 4-day forecast, we will see that Thursday is the only possibility for some rain, maybe later in the day. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's looking very well if you want to go outdoors or maybe take a trip to the mountains. we will see that conditions are going to be favorable for this, as temperatures are hovering in the middle 80s. And as we take a look going I-40 west towards the mountains, temperatures are going to be hovering around normal for this area. Also, partly cloudy conditions. It's going to be kind of cool later in the evening. And say maybe you want to hop onto I-40 east towards the beach. Maybe towards Wilmington. It's going to be mostly sunny with temperatures, again, hovering around average. So for right now, it looks great. We have temperatures right where we want them to be, and really no hurricanes in sight, and that's just a relief for right now.
Well, that's great news, Laura. Thanks for the forecast.
All right, and sportscaster Matt Estridge joins us now to tell us what's going on in the world of sports.
Here at UNC, we got tons of track and baseball left. Coming up in sports, did the Tar Heel baseball team cruise or hit the wall in the weekend's NCAA regionals? We'll tell you right after this.
You know, this used to be a good neighborhood. Now it's a mess. You got all these polyps running around. Speaking of the devil.
Colon cancer almost always starts with the polyp. Get the polyp early and stop colon cancer before it even starts.
Where'd you think you were running to, huh?
I didn't even see you guys there. I was...
Get the test, get the polyp,
I want to talk to my lawyer!
get the cure.
I got a phone call!
Take a pop quiz with me. In what film did I feel a need for speed? What was my call sign? Who did I sit behind in the F-14? Oh, and one more question. Who does your kid sit behind in homeroom?
Know what really matters. Know about your kid's school and know about your kid. Find out 100 ways to know more, do more.
The baseball team opened an explosive World Series regional weekend Friday against the Maine Black Bears. Fans streamed into the Bosch to catch a glimpse of their host Heels, but were disappointed when this Kevin McAvoy homer gave Maine a 4-1 lead in the third. But that didn't discourage Jay Cox's biggest fan. The junior responded with a blast as big as that guy's waistband, tying the game at 4. In the sixth, McAvoy and Mark Ostrander went back-to-back, putting Maine up 6-4. But it wouldn't last. The Heels tacked on 4 in the bottom of the sixth with this 2-run error, putting UNC up for good. The Heels scored 7 in the seventh and rolled 15-7. Cox finished with a career-best 5 RBIs. On Saturday, UNC came ready to play, and fans came prepared to see the Tar Heels in action. Andrew Miller's first pitch, it's in there for a strike. He dominated the Eagles all game, holding Winthrop to 4 runs. At the plate, the Heels started slowly, but the fans kept the mood intense. Mike Casavini had the first hit of the game and scored the first run for the Heels. But it was Jay Cox again, whose bat was on fire. He homered twice and drove in 4 runs. Cox says it's momentum that allows him to rack up the hits.
You can rack up some runs, some hits in a hurry, especially in this league. You just got to get the momentum, in our favor. And I feel like we did that, all night long. We had the momentum in our favor, and especially when Miller's on the mound.
The number 1 seeded Tar Heels beat Winthrop 14-4 and smacked Eagles hard again on Sunday 14-2 to win the regional. After rolling in Chapel Hill, the baseball team is on to its next best-of-3 series. The Tar Heels take their red-hot bats on the road for a Friday night super regional date with Alabama. UNC cranked out 43 runs in 3 games this weekend. While the bats and defense were tight, starting pitching left a little more to be desired. Starter Robert Woodard was chased from the regional opener after 4 1/3 innings, and star Andrew Miller allowed 9 hits and 4 runs Saturday. Those studs will have to do better against Crimson Tide, the nation's top seed. Miller and teammate Daniel Bard got some exciting news Tuesday. Both were selected in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft. Miller was chosen 6th by the Detroit Tigers and Bard 28th by the Boston Red Sox.
It was always one of those dreams that you thought you'd never achieve, just jealous of everybody else who gets the opportunity. And I think it's pretty exciting that I'm here and I've been given that opportunity.
I thought it might come true 3 years ago. It didn't, so I came to college, and I guess it proved to be a good decision. So I'm happy with where I am now, and I'm just excited to start playing some pro ball.
To some, track and field means fast running and high jumping, but we can't forget throwing. This week, Carolina's Masters of the Discus, Shot Put, Hammer Throw, and Javelin go to the NCAA tournament. The Heels look to be strong in the tournament with Laura Garrity at the shot put. She's a 3-time NCAA champion and a 2004 Olympic competitor, but she's coming off a hand and wrist injury. Also headed to the postseason is Jocelyn White. She was ranked 5th in the nation last year in the discus throw and was the ACC Indoor Season Freshman of the Year. Here, you can see why. Garrity says she feels fully recovered from her injury, which kept her out of the NCAA tournament last year.
I was actually told by just about every doctor in the U.S. that I'd never throw again, so it's great to be back. I found a therapy that worked, and I had some finger surgery, some hand surgery, so I'm happy.
UNC isn't the only Carolina team enjoying success in the postseason. The Carolina Hurricanes are in the Stanley Cup Finals. Getting into the action late in the third period of Game 1, the Canes and Oilers tied at 4 with less than a minute left. It looked like overtime was on the way in Raleigh when Rod Brind'Amour slid in this beauty of a shot. The Canes, yeah, they're excited. We got to see that shot one more time. So wait for it. Here it is. Brind'Amour steals it and puts the biscuit in the basket. Canes win 5-4. They'll face the Oilers tonight at the RBC Center. And the Hurricanes are looking pretty good because Edmonton's star goalie is out for the series, so the Canes, it's their cup to win.
Oh, nice. Great. Well, thank you so much, Matt. Great. Well, it sounds like the place to be tonight, it's definitely got to be the Canes game.
It sure does. And coming up, we'll show you some popular places in and around Chapel Hill to help you beat the stress.
Sniffing things to get high can deprive your brain of the oxygen it needs to keep you alive.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
Well, it is summertime in Chapel Hill, so where do you go to chill on the hill? Carolina Week's Catherine Harrell went to find some of the student body's favorite places.
Weaver Street Market in Carrboro is known for its laid-back atmosphere. People come to the market to read, refuel, or just relax. The outside area offers a place to enjoy the summer weather. Kim Thompson is a rising junior at UNC. She comes to Weaver Street Market to do her schoolwork.
It's a great place to study outside, and you can get a snack. It's really close, and the parking is free, which is always hard to find on campus, so you can't go to the library or anything during the day.
To cool off, you might want to try Mapleview Ice Cream Shop, right across the street from the market. Or, in Chapel Hill, there's the Yogurt Pump on Franklin Street. Mark Miller is a law student who works nearby. He likes to get yogurt as an afternoon treat.
I go to the Yogurt Pump because we get kind of bored at work in the afternoons, and it's a good pick-me-up, you know? It's good prices, low calorie, good flavors, pretty good deal.
Right next door to the Yogurt Pump is Caribou Coffee, where you can study or just relax outside under the shaded tables. How about a Mexican meal? Maybe margaritas?
Los Patrios is another summer hotspot in Chapel Hill where students come to sit on the porch to eat a meal or just have a round of drinks with friends.
So there are lots of places to chill out under the Carolina blue skies. In Chapel Hill, I'm Catherine Harrell, Carolina Week.
So Caitlin, where's your favorite place to chill in Chapel Hill?
Well, I like the OEC Center, Outdoor Education Center.
Oh yeah, that's where they have the tennis courts, right?
They sure do. They have tennis courts, and you can go play Frisbee golf if you want to, so you should go check it out sometime.
All right. Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night.